instructor promised me next week I could try it with 4 needles.
Going all out for defense, huh?
Hello, Robert. Stephen said you were here.
Hello, Mrs. Courtney. I came out to discuss the advertising campaign for next year for All American Foods.
Oh, I'm so glad you did, Robert. I do want you to get a new conductor for our Classic Hour program next season.
But, Mrs. Courtney...
The one we had last year took impossible liberties with List. And you know List. Poor man, it's a good thing he's dead.
Well, but, Mrs. Courtney...
No arguments, please, Robert. I will not have our program conducted by a radical. And I wish List were here to agree with me.
Well, we can't dig him up for that.
No, it wouldn't be conventional, would it?
Look, J.P., I've got a radio campaign mapped out for next season that'll put All American Foods on every dining room table in the country.
They're on there already.
Yes, but not in the quantities they should be. Next season, we're going to sell them with the kind of entertainment they want. Swing.
Spank me, Daddy, with an 8-beat slap.
Well...
Listen, Bob, you don't need to sell me any ideas.
I know, J.P., but here's the situation.
You just talk to Agatha about it. Let me know how she makes up my mind.
I've been talking to her for the last 10 minutes and getting no place. If I do any further talking, I'm going to need your help.
You just tell her what I said, but don't tell her I said it.
Well, what's that for? Well, Sue, I guess I'm not doing so well.
The trouble is, Aunt Aggie doesn't like modern music because she won't listen to it. If I could help you, would you be willing to help some friends of mine?
Why, of course I would, but I don't understand.
It's a deal. Come on.
Then you don't need rhyme. Close your eyes, just beat the time. Clap your hands and start to swing. Here we go, everybody sing.
Way down south in Tennessee, used to sit on my pappy's knee. Told me, son, as you go through life, trouble's gonna stab you like a carving knife. Amen.
Just open up those gates, 'cause here I am. I'm the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. When your honey's gonna skull on me.
Exactly what I've been looking for. Now, look, if you want to work with me for a week, we can put together a show that'll have every sponsor in the country knocking at our door.
We're ready.
Sure! Wait a minute. I don't know.
Why not?
Well, I think we should speak to our agent first.
Oh, of course, I understand that.
I promised Bob you'd help him.
But you see, we're more or less committed to a new winter program already.
Oh, Mr. Riley, we're open for engagements. And if you can't get Miss Payne and the Andrews sisters, well, we'd listen to a proposition.
Who's your agent?
I got those distinctions. And I don't mind saying, my dear sir, that if you are to secure the services of my young protégés, that will be a very lucky day for me.
Well, if I can sell the show I have in mind, I'll want the whole group. I'm familiar with the show you did for Glitter Toothpaste, so I know we can get together on a price.
Oh, I'm sure we can. But we're shooting high next season, and if we land that All-American Foods account...
I'm their advertising agent.
All-American Foods?
You handle their advertising?
Yeah. Well, this is quite a coincidence. I mean, they...
Yes, it is. But a rather nice one.
Yes. Yes, isn't it? Well, I'll see you all later, huh?
Goodbye. Well...
Bye.
Bye.
Pretty, isn't she?
Yeah.
I said she's pretty, isn't she?
Yeah. If I seem to detect a note of jealousy in your voice, I hope I'm gentleman enough to overlook it.
No, only if you decide to marry her, be sure and let me know so I can break our engagement.
Madame.
Oh, divine, my dear Professor, simply divine.
Thank you, Madame, thank you. I trust you found my interpretation in full accord with the finest tradition of the composition?
Oh, I was particularly fond of your respectful treatment of the last movement. I understand you also play the violin.
The violin? Yes, Madame, I do also play the violin.
Oh, please do.
Do you suppose we ought to talk to Aunt Aggie right away?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we better let this come as a sort of a surprise.
I think we'd better kind of prepare her for it, so it won't be too much of a shock.
Yeah, I know, Sue. Hey, look.
Oh, Robert, I want you to meet Professor Bistel. Professor, this is Robert Riley, our advertising counselor.
Oh, yes, of course. I've tried to see Mr. Riley a great many times.
Yes, I know. How are you, Estelle?
This is my little niece, Susan.
Oh, I'm delighted.
Oh, she's only a little child. Mr. Riley will make whatever financial arrangements are necessary. I just engaged Professor Bistel to conduct the classic hour next season.
But, my dear Madame, you haven't heard me play the violin yet.
I'm not quite up to it. You know, in the groove. Oh, that's Sue again. I mean, in the mood.
He's to conduct the classic hour? Oh, but Mrs. Courtney.
Oh, J.P.
Shall I be at your office tomorrow, say at 11?
Oh, yes, sure. But Mrs. Courtney.
Now, Robert, let's not get involved in a discussion. Professor Bistel and I see eye to eye on Liszt. Do be understanding of him. He is so sensitive.
Tomorrow at 11, then.
I may not be there, but I'll leave word with my assistant to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look, J.P., I've got to stop her from hiring that palooka.
Wait a minute, Bob. How in thunder did you do that?
You just took one end onto somebody and poof.
J.P., will you please listen?
Wait a minute. Where'd you get that trick?
From a friend of mine. Oh, I'll have him teach you a lot of tricks on one condition.
What's that?
You've got to help Bob and me get rid of Liszt.
Liszt?
The classic hour.
Well, I'll do what I can. Gee, saw a woman in half. I don't think I'm quite ready for that yet. Maybe I ought to work up to it gradually. Start in with a midget.
Gee, Uncle Chipper, think how surprised Aunt Aggie will be if you can do it.
Yeah, think how surprised she'll be if I can't.
Hey, Marvel. Marvel, this is my Uncle Chipper.
Ah, Mr. Jip.
How do you do?
An honor indeed. Your niece tells me you're a novice in the art of magic.
Oh, I'm not quite that far advanced.
Uncle Chipper wants to learn how to saw a woman in half.
Of course, I will have to swear to absolute secrecy. Can you imagine what would happen if everyone went around sawing women in half?
For one thing, there'd be twice as many women.
Is that bad?
See you later.
Oh, how do you do? I'm Professor, I'm Professor Bestell to see Mr. Riley.
Not in.
Mr. Riley told me himself if he were not here, he would be very glad to discuss the matter with me. That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. I'm very sorry, Professor Bestell. Mr. Riley is not in.
Oh, that's bad.
Not so bad. I expect you'd be back.
A boyfriend.
Me?
Who? Tommy. But don't tell him I told you.
I won't.
Goodbye, Sue.
Oh, would you like some tea and cake? Don't you like cake? Well, then why don't you want some? Just let it fall in love, 'cause love laughs at anything. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Susan,
Hello, Aunt Aggie.
what was that you were singing?
A little number I picked up.
What's that? I wish you wouldn't go around picking up numbers. Music is too refined an art. You must not associate yourself with its more inconsequential modern developments.
No.
Well,
Hi, Uncle Chipper.
hi, Sue. Aggie. Look. Now you see it? Now you still see it.
Very clever. You know, dear, I'm very disappointed in my better Cambodias. I think I'll change to guppies. Oh, it's time for your knitting, darling.
Oh, I'm not going to do any more knitting.
Remember what the doctor said. If you're to recover from your nervous breakdown, you must do your knitting as well as your magic tricks. That's right. You'll have to work extra hard. Remember, you dropped 2 stitches yesterday.
I'll put on a drive.
Oh, I wish you'd speak to the gardener about the ivy. It's creeping all over the house. When I woke up this morning, it was in bed with me.
I'll tell him to set a trap for it. Knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. You may laugh, but this knitting's doing me a lot of good.
Does it really help your nerves, Uncle Chipper?
It certainly does. I used to be a nervous wreck. Now I'm as steady as a rock. Oh! I must get that cat some rubber heels. One.
Bob!
Oh!
You did come, just like you promised.
Ah, darling, nothing in the world could keep us apart. Will you marry me?
Yes, in 6 years.
I can hardly wait. You know, we'll make a handsome couple walking down the aisle. Me with my lumbago and you holding me up. Still knitting, JP?
Yep, mine.